The dark side of losing weight dads aren't told about. It's been a while since I dieted down to a pretty lean physique. That being said, doesn't mean I'm not aware of the shitty sides of dieting, which I'm here to share with you today, good friend. So quick summary on me losing weight. I've never leaned out for anything like a physique show or a photo shoot, because it's not my kind of thing. And that may be changing in the future, but that would just be the biggest bag of bones if I did, wouldn't I? Lowest I've ever been was around 70 kilos back with my coach. The lowest I've been recently was 75 kilos, and that was about 6 months ago. So some context before we get into this. If dieting is done in somewhat of a correct way, and by that way I mean you make manageable changes and put yourself in a consistent calorie deficit, what typically tends to happen in the first few days, you'll notice a decent weight drop from the start, which is likely going to be water and muscle stores, i.e. glycogen, which is completely normal. And then hopefully after that you'll start consistently losing weight on average. Also, if it's slowly, it will likely be fat, because that's what you want when you lose weight, to lose fat and not muscle. After those few days and those couple of weeks, your motivation should be high with everything going well. And then a few weeks after that, you might start experiencing the things we're going to talk about. Some people say it's like the grind, the slow chiseling of your body fat to reveal all your muscle curves and your striations. Not everyone will experience it this way, by the way. Everyone is different and has different levels of tolerance. And they might just have a miserable few weeks, or they might not have any of these issues. But if they're finding this absolute miserable and having the shittest time ever, I would be questioning why that is. Because it shouldn't be a miserable few weeks, it should just be some inconvenience. Because dieting really isn't that hard. But there are a genuine few miserable fuckers out there who think their world caves in around them at the slightest inconvenience. So if you're 2 days into losing weight and you've sacked it off already, you've made an arse of yourself, my friend, and fucked up somewhere. So it's back to the drawing board for you. Depending on how much weight you have to lose will depend on how severe each of these issues are. If you have a shed load of excess fat to lose, you might not actually feel any of these, because you've got that much excess energy in the first place, for example. But just imagine the situation I'm talking through is you're losing weight in a controlled manner and trying to preserve muscle. If you want quicker results, that's fine, but the issues we're talking about might appear quicker. So here are the dark sides of losing weight, and also ways to mitigate these issues when you come across them. And we're not going to mention that your body weight is going to come down, because that is pretty fucking obvious. I am better than that. So the first one, tiredness. You're essentially in a controlled starvation situation, and not many people in controlled states of starvation have a spring in their step, do they? If you think of prisoner of war camps, etc., or the concentration camps, they weren't exactly singing and dancing and cartwheeling, were they? You're doing that, it's just not that extreme. And then with eating less and hopefully exercising on top of that, you're consuming less energy than you need. So it will eventually catch up on you. First few weeks that will unlikely be the case, because you should be powering through with all this momentum and motivation, but it will likely kick in soon. Next one is hunger. So eating less than you need to technically survive. Hunger will likely come into the fold at some point. It's obviously another one that is inevitable, and sometimes no amount of voluminous foods will curb that hunger, satisfaction, feeling that you're looking for. With hunger, that likely leads to temptations to eat more food, and the temptation is likely towards what you may know as junk food. Nobody's ever said, Jesus Christ, I am tempted for some broccoli during this diet, are they? It's got to be like pastries and chocolate and crisps, depending on what your favourite foods are. Eating these kind of foods, but still being in deficit, isn't really an issue. It's when you eat the share bar of chocolate and the shared bags of crisps. That's when you make an arse of things. The next one is feeling weak, because you should be exercising when losing weight. Alright? Undereating likely leads to numbers dwindling in the gym, or whatever kind of exercise that you do, because you don't have the energy stores you once had before. All of my big lifts go to shit, but I'm putting that down to having such long levers. That's my excuse. But endurance exercise or running numbers could start to fall as well. And then things like incline running or hill walking might become a little bit harder. What could also happen though, is it might start becoming easier to begin with, because you're lighter overall, carrying less body weight. So just be aware of the impact your body weight changes have. Next one is your mood. It technically takes a toll on your mental health as well. You basically become a moody little fucker. So you could start becoming short-tempered and not being as energetic as usual. You might start thinking somewhat irrationally, like things might not be moving in the right direction in terms of weight, that you look worse in the mirror, or things aren't moving quick enough. The issue with mood is then it feeds into other areas like temptations. You could start thinking, this is shit, this isn't working, I look like shit, I feel weak and small, I'm just going to sack this off and eat a fuckload of food, kind of thing. A very good lesson to learn here is you likely have chosen to put yourself through this. So be mindful of how you're acting around others in a situation you put yourself in. Basically, you can't moan about being starving and tired all the time when you've chosen to be in that state yourself. If you're going to be miserable, fuck off to the corner and do it yourself. Next one is your hectic life can become harder. So when you're single and have fuck all responsibilities and are skint, and all you think of is the gym and eating because you're a gym loser like I was back in the day. Losing weight was a piece of piss because you had fuck all else to worry about. But throw dieting into your life with a hectic work life and a family life, it just becomes harder, especially with all the other stresses in your life. Does it become impossible? But it does become harder. Next one is you might not actually be happy with your new body. So there's this automatic assumption online that losing weight will just instantly make you happier. But in reality, some people might not be happy with their new look. You might feel smaller when you look in the mirror. which could be genuine. You might just simply be depleted. That gives off the impression you're small and frail. So maybe instead of focusing on weight loss, you just focus on becoming strong as fuck and changing your physique that way. You also might not be happy because you've not got any muscle to show that warrants a decent, slender physique. People assume that when they lose weight, they're going to have all this muscle on show, but they've done fuck all to earn any, which is harsh, but it's definitely true. But that discussion is for another video. How do you mitigate these dark sides, if you can? So in no particular order, but somewhat bunched together to try and keep them in categories. Fruit, vegetable and fibre. Eat loads of fruit and veg to stay satisfied, and fibre to help you keep full. This should help keep up your vitamins and minerals to then keep up your energy. If you don't know this already, you're an idiot. Compromising with food. You don't necessarily need to remove any foods here, just compromise and make smart choices. So you might want the beef burger, but you could settle for a chicken burger because it's less calories. You might want crisps, but you then settle for pop chips because it's less calories. You might want chocolate, but you settle for a protein smoothie with chocolate whey powder. For example, next one is find things that keep you full. So with hunger, there are things that can help you stay fuller. So use these things to your advantage, like low calorie snacks or carbonated drinks, which are low in calories obviously, water, etc., to keep you full and satisfied. There may come a time you have to embrace the hunger and suck it up, but you're likely at that point to be at a much lower body fat than the average person. Having timing of meals and shifting your calories about might help give you energy at certain parts of the day that you don't normally have. So you might not have any energy at lunch, shift a bit more calories to then. You might not be hungry in the morning, so move calories away from there. You might be more ravenous and more open to snacking at night, so move calories to then might be a good idea. Moving calories before you exercise also might help keep your energy up in your session that you should hopefully be doing. Next one is rest. No shit, James. With controlled starvation and burning more than you consume, you're going to be knackered at certain points. It may somewhat become part of the norm, so it's a good idea to rest when you can. Just don't be a lazy fucker and skip out on things that you should be doing, like steps and cardio, if you choose to do them. A massive amount of the issues above can be solved with a simple day's rest. And this goes for sleep as well. Sleep will literally make or break your day, so make sure to prioritise it. Try and get the best quality sleep as possible and address any sleep hygiene issues. So you could look at things like eye masks or like lavender spray or white noise, or using podcasts to help you sleep, things like that. Next one is make sure you have an end goal in sight. You're a bit of a fanny if you're wanting to lose weight and it'll take as long as it takes kind of mentality. I think people seriously underestimate the toll dieting takes on their body, which can then create further issues down the line like poor relationships with food and yo-yo dieting. Even if you get to 6 weeks and then think, I can carry this on, I'm feeling good, that is a much better approach. But I wouldn't go any further than 12 weeks for most people. I would have a non-negotiable rest from that point, unless you have the experience to carry on. With your timeframes, be realistic with your weight loss and not bite off more than you can chew. If you do want faster results, just be aware of the consequences. A typical rate of weight loss will vary from person to person, but anywhere between 1 kilo and 0.4 kilograms of weight loss on average per week could be a decent rate for you. The slower the rate, the more likelihood you'll preserve muscle. Supplements won't save your day and make everything easier, but it could help you. Caffeine could give you more energy. So I purposely have caffeine at lunchtime to get me through the next few afternoon hours. It's far enough away from it affecting my sleep at night. There does come a time where I need to bin caffeine though, so I don't depend on it. Also, drinking monsters every day is an expensive habit. So creatine could also help with endurance in the gym or when you're exercising. This is arguably not a supplement, but a carb powder might help you get through a difficult training session that you feel you're suffering through. Or a pre-workout could help you get your arse in the gym in the morning. Or even a non-stimulated pre-workout may help get your arse in the gym at night and then not affect your sleep. Next one is free up your calendar so it's less hectic. If you're trying to lose weight but your calendar is full at the brim with nights out and meals out, it's maybe not the best time to try this out. If you try and fail, you might start blaming yourself when you haven't really set yourself up for a win, have you? So maybe free up your calendar to make it easier. Next one is tell your partner or friends. Try and get a bit of support to help you through this. Your partner should then understand and support you heading to the gym while she has to deal with your kids. It is all for the greater good, so keep telling yourself that. But also tell her that as well. You fucker. You could also refeed, which means you eat a little bit more calories than you have been to recover and replenish energy. Or you could have a diet break when you basically have a few days off your diet and eat your maintenance calories. So the diet after the diet as well. But a very important point to make is there's a good chance of you regaining the weight you've lost after your diet's over. Why is that, James? Your body's going to mentally be in a ravenous and want to eat everything in sight to make up for the weight you've lost, and potentially more. So you're technically in a vulnerable state, which is why the diet after the diet is arguably more important. Last one is you might just have to suck this up. As I've mentioned before, you are in a controlled starvation. So that comes with some negative consequences you're likely never going to mitigate and get rid of fully. So you just have to suck it up, my friend. You have to get on with it. You have to embrace the suck and don't be a pussy and be a lion. But more seriously, just maybe see it as a challenge for yourself, because that is always a good thing. Just don't post it on social media because nobody seriously gives a fuck. One thing you could do is get yourself a coach and take all of the above guesswork out of your hands and then get a pair of hopefully experienced eyes over the situation with no emotional or subjective views. Basically someone not scared to give an honest opinion and give you a kick up the arse if you need it. Before we get into the summary as well, It's worth noting, despite how shit some of these might sound, they're actually good indicators that things are moving in the right direction. Here is a summary of the dark sides of losing weight you're not told about. So tiredness. When you're burning more energy than you need, tiredness is bound to catch up. Hunger. When you're eating less energy than you need, you will be hungry at some points. With a combination of tiredness and hunger, tempting foods that will likely be energy dense, for example chocolate and cakes, become that little bit more tempting for you. So being tired and undereating, feeling weak and underperforming will likely happen in the gym. And with all of the above, chances are you'll eventually got to become a moody little fucker. Not many people who are tired and hungry are great at parties, are they? Next one is busy and hectic lives become harder to navigate when you have other goals, like weight loss. You also might not actually be happy losing weight. Many people online promote weight loss like it's a one-way ticket to happiness, when that's not really the case. If that is you, just think about getting stronger instead. And quickly, how to mitigate these issues. Fruits, vegetable and fibre. You're an idiot if I need to explain why in terms of fullness and fibre intake. A point worth touching on is vitamins and minerals should give you the best chances of staying energetic. Build a diet around your favourite foods. You might not be able to eat that specific food you want, but a reasonable compromise could be an option. Spaced out meals may help you stay fuller for longer and may also keep your energy levels high in and around training. Next one is rest. It cures tiredness, would you believe? Next one after that is sleep. It literally makes or breaks your day. Get good at it by looking at your sleep hygiene. So with timeframes, give yourself a start and end date for any diet. Maybe even building breaks there or pit stops. Remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Don't force change, otherwise you might dig yourself into a hole you find it difficult to get out. Supplements won't cure any of the issues that come with dieting, but may mitigate them. Try and free up your calendar and carry out weight loss when your life is quiet, or quieter than usual. Set yourself up for a win rather than making it hard. Make sure to tell your partners and friends. Get some support and accountability. Look into both refeeds and diet breaks if you're struggling. Consider what your diet looks like after your weight loss diet. It is arguably more important than the weight loss itself. Next one is suck it up. Some of these things you won't ever get over. Sometimes you just have to power through and still being a little bitch. And the last one is get a coach. Get some accountability and support. Need I say any more? If you're interested in mine, click on the links below for more information. Now you might be thinking, Jesus James, what incredible information you've given me, but where do I go next? Well, I've got your back, my friend. To support this video, I made this one not too long ago about why dads need more protein. I'm always an email or a message away if you have any questions. So speak soon hopefully, and I'll see you in the next video.